Hello there, welcome to Siasat TV. It's Friday, May 7th, 2021. I am Sumaya Junaid Ahmed in Hyderabad, where we get you all the big news stories of the day from across India and the world. And here is our top headlines.
India records over 4 lakh new COVID cases and 3,915 deaths within 24 hours, the highest so far. This is the second consecutive day that India is reporting over 4 lakh cases. Karnataka to get 1200 metric tons of oxygen. According to the Karnataka High Court order, the Supreme Court declines the centre's plea against the order. DMK Chief M.K. Stalin sworn in as the new Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu along with 33-member cabinet as Tamil Nadu faces massive COVID crisis. Rahul Gandhi writes an open letter to Prime Minister Narendra Modi, reiterates the need for a lockdown, says give financial aid and listen to advices and be transparent. Jharkhand Chief Minister Hemant Soren tweets the Prime Minister call to him was a man ki baat. It would have been better he had talked about work and listened about work. An air ambulance from Nagpur with patient on board did a safe landing in Mumbai after one of its tires fell off. In a span of 24 hours, Telangana reports 5,892 fresh positive cases and 46 deaths. Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao says Telangana has no plan to impose lockdown as it cripples public life and economy. US Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin says it's a challenging for Afghan military as United States forces leave Afghanistan. Myanmar anti-coup cage fighter arrested as protest continues.
Let us begin with our top story. India's COVID cases, which have sparked a global concern, rose by a record of 4,14,188 infections, taking the active case load to 36,45,164. 3,915 people died in a day. Shortages of resources to tackle a deadly second wave remains a big concern. This is the second straight day that India has reported over 4 lakh cases.
Last week, the country had hit a grim global record as daily cases passed the 4 lakh mark. The country, which recovered just 15,510 fresh infections on 1st of March, has been reporting over 3 lakh new COVID cases every day from the last 2 weeks. More than 2.34 lakh people have died since the pandemic broke. Earlier this week, India's overall cases breached the 2 crore mark.
Moving on to our next story, the Supreme Court today rejected the centre's petition against a High Court order asking it to send 1,200 metric tons of oxygen to Karnataka. The Supreme Court said the Karnataka High Court ordered its careful, calibrated exercise and we see no reason to entertain the centre's appeal.
The centre had yesterday approached the Supreme Court against the High Court order asking it to increase daily liquid medical oxygen allocation for Karnataka from 965 to 1,200 metric tons of oxygen for treating COVID-19 patients. Solicitor General Tushar Mehta, representing the centre, said Karnataka was being supplied 965 metric tons of oxygen and the order to increase it had to be put on hold urgently.
Alright, the central government has to supply 700 metric tons of medical oxygen to Delhi every day till further orders, the Supreme Court said this morning as top hospitals in the national capital struggle to tackle the unprecedented rise in COVID infections. The top court said yet again, when we say 700 metric tons, it means the amount of medical oxygen to be supplied every day to Delhi. Please do not drive us to a situation to take coercive steps. We are clarifying that it will be 700 metric tons of medical oxygen every day.
This is the third straight day that the shortage of medical oxygen, a key challenge that has emerged in India's fight against the deadly second COVID wave, was discussed in the top court. Even as the Arvind Kejriwal government in the top court said on Thursday the city has been getting roughly half the quantity of oxygen it has been officially allocated. Over the last 2 weeks, many hospitals in the city have sent distress messages on social media seeking urgent help.
Moving on to Tamil Nadu, at Raj Bhavan in Chennai this morning, DMK Chief M.K. Stalin was sworn in as the new Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu along with 33 members of his cabinet by Governor Bhavari Lal Purohit in simple ceremony amid restrictions in place due to the pandemic. Also present was poll strategist Prashant Kishore, who masterminded the election win. Mr. Stalin was also sworn in as Home Minister and will also hold other portfolios including administrative and police services. And former Congress President Rahul Gandhi today wrote to Prime Minister Narendra Modi stating that a national lockdown had become almost inevitable as COVID tsunami continues to ravage the economy unabated. The Congress leader also urged the Prime Minister to do all he could to stop the virus and urged the government to rapidly vaccinate the entire population as the virus was on the verge of overwhelming all the systems.
Rahul Gandhi also slammed the centre in his letter, saying the government's lack of a clear strategy as well as its hubris in declaring premature victory has placed India in a highly dangerous position. To avoid a repeat of last year when lakhs of migrant workers were forced to travel on foot, Mr. Gandhi suggested that the government should ensure a proper transportation policy and offer financial and food support to the vulnerable sections.
Well, Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Thursday spoke to Chief Minister of Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Odisha and Jharkhand about COVID-19 situation in their states. Prime Minister also spoke to Lieutenant Governors of Puducherry and Jammu and Kashmir about the COVID situation in the two union territories.
Andhra Pradesh is among 10 states which account for over 70% cases in the country. According to Health Minister, Telangana has 77,127 active cases and Andhra Pradesh has 1,70,588 such cases. Odisha has 71,134 and Jharkhand has 59,532 active cases. The COVID-19 cases have also increased in Puducherry and Jammu and Kashmir during the second wave of virus. Puducherry has 11,717 active cases and Jammu and Kashmir has 39,628 active cases.
Jharkhand Chief Minister Hemant Soren dig at Prime Minister Narendra Modi after a phone call with him on a COVID situation in his state has drawn sharp and varied reactions. Prime Minister Modi yesterday spoke to Chief Ministers of Andhra Pradesh, Odisha, Telangana and Jharkhand. The Jharkhand Chief Minister tweeted in Hindi referring to Prime Minister Modi's talk with Chief Ministers as Man Ki Baat. He wrote today the respected Prime Minister called. He only spoke his Man Ki Baat. It would have been better if he would have talked business and listened to the issues.
Mr. Soren was unhappy as he was not allowed to speak about his concerns and it was only the Prime Minister who talked. The post provoked furious responses from BJP leaders and supporters. Assam BJP leader Himanta Biswa Sarma wrote on Twitter, "Your tweet is not just against minimum decorum but it is also a mockery of the pain of the people of your state for whom the Prime Minister called you. You have pulled a despicable stunt. You have lowered the dignity of the Chief Minister's post."
Well, now let us take you across a video which is being widely circulated on social media. An air ambulance made an emergency belly landing at Mumbai airport on Thursday after it lost a wheel during a takeoff from Nagpur. The air ambulance was reportedly carrying two crew members, a patient, a relative and a doctor.
Tweeting about the incident, Civil Aviation Minister Hardeep Singh Puri wrote, "A jet-served ambulance with a patient on board lost a wheel during takeoff from Nagpur, showing immense presence of mind. Captain Kesari Singh belly-landed the aircraft on foam carpeting in Mumbai. All on board are safe. Commendable effort by Directorate General of Civil Aviation, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj International Airport and other agencies. The Beechcraft VTJIL aircraft en route to Hyderabad from Nagpur declared a full emergency after it reported a technical snag and made a belly landing at 9:09 p.m. at Mumbai's Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj International Airport."
Let us shift our focus to Telangana, where COVID cases continues to surge in state. Telangana recorded 5,892 fresh coronavirus positive cases and 46 deaths on Thursday, pushing the total tally to 4,81,640 and the fatality count to 2,625.
Meanwhile, the recovery cases went up to 4,05,164 with 9,122 persons recovering from the virus in the last 24 hours. At present, there are 73,851 active cases in the state. Between Wednesday and Thursday, around 76,047 tests were conducted, of which the results of 5,892 samples came positive and the reports of 3,127 are awaited. The highest number of cases were reported from Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation, that is 1,104.
Indian Meteorological Department Hyderabad said rains will continue to lash in Telangana for next 3 days due to trough over North Karnataka at distance of 0.9 km from sea level. IMD said that light moderate rainfall accompanied by gusty winds and hailstorm will lash the state for the next 3 days.
On Thursday, Telangana witnessed pre-monsoon showers in some parts, particularly in northern and western Telangana districts and also a few places in Hyderabad. Mominpet in Vikarabad district has recorded the highest of 31.5 mm of rainfall. On the other hand, the temperature has come down to 36 degrees Celsius and no change has been reported in the minimum temperature.
Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao said on Thursday that Telangana has no plan to impose a lockdown in the state as it will cripple public life as well as the economy. He further said the past experience reveals that lockdown is not effective in controlling COVID-19.
According to Mr. Rao, Telangana is the most happening state. About 25 to 30 lakh migrant laborers are earning their livelihood in the state and their lives were ruined during the first spell of lockdown in 2020. However, the state government will take preventive measures such as setting up micro-level containment zones wherever the number of cases are high. The Chief Minister appealed to people to be self-disciplined and adhere to the COVID-19 rules to prevent the spread of the disease.
Moving on to our international news, top US military officials said on Thursday that current focus for United States force in Afghanistan and their NATO partners in the withdrawal of their troops scheduled to complete by 11th of September this year, then priority will shift helping Afghan security forces from over the horizon. Sir, retake, sir. Moving on to our international news, top US military officials said on Thursday that current focus of US forces in Afghanistan and their NATO partners in withdrawal of their troops scheduled to be completed by 11th of September this year, then priority will shift to helping Afghan security forces from over the horizon.
U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin said the Afghan security forces will play a major role in stopping the Taliban from further attacks on U.S. troops. The U.S. withdrawal is part of a deal signed by administration of former United States President Donald Trump and the Taliban in February 2020 that mandated foreign forces would leave Afghanistan in exchange for security guarantees by Taliban, and the group would negotiate with elected Afghan government.
Health Minister Jens Spahn has said Germany will allow AstraZeneca's COVID vaccine to administer to all adults of age and aims to offer 12 to 18 years old a vaccine by the end of August as it seeks to speed up its rollout.
The country's 16 regional health ministers have agreed with Spahn to reverse previous decision to restrict the AstraZeneca shot to people aged more than 60 years. He also said the current 12-week gap between first and second doses of AstraZeneca vaccinations could be shortened.
A popular mixed martial arts fighter who joined anti-coup protests in Myanmar has been wounded by a homemade bomb and later arrested following an alleged blast, among many others in the last 3 cities, as the military government struggles to assert control over country amid mounting death toll and defiant protest.
Anti-coup protests were held today across the country, including the city of Magwe west of the capital, Naypyidaw. A pre-dawn strike was also held in Natamu district of Magwe, with protesters carrying torches and red banners of the National League Democracy Party of Aung San Suu Kyi.
Before we wrap up our bulletin, let's have a look on our headlines.
India records over 4 lakh new COVID cases and 3,915 deaths within 24 hours. The highest so far. This is the second consecutive day that India is reporting over 4 lakh cases. Karnataka to get 1200 metric tons of oxygen. According to the Karnataka High Court order, the Supreme Court declines the centre's plea against the order. DMK chief M.K. Stalin sworn in as the new chief minister of Tamil Nadu along with 33-member cabinet as Tamil Nadu faces massive COVID crisis. Rahul Gandhi writes an open letter to Prime Minister Narendra Modi, reiterates the need for a lockdown, says give financial aid and listen to advices and be transparent. Jharkhand Chief Minister Hemant Soren tweets the Prime Minister call to him was a man ki baat. It would have been better he had talked about work and listened about work. An air ambulance from Nagpur with patient on board did a safe landing in Mumbai after one of its tires fell off. In a span of 24 hours, Telangana reports 5,892 fresh positive cases and 46 deaths. Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao says Telangana has no plan to impose lockdown as it cripples public life and economy. US Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin says it's a challenging for Afghan military as United States forces leave Afghanistan. Myanmar anti-coup cage fighter arrested as protest continues.
Well, that is the Siasat TV English news for this Friday. Thanks for watching. I am Sumaya Junaid Ahmed. Have a great day.